Hello and welcome to segment 3 of the Omni Chronicles. In the last two segments we discussed the basics about web servers and your website. Now we're going to get into the e-commerce side, which actually shows you how to manage products, whether they're digital, physical, any type of product or service that you have. Whether you're doing recurring billing, where you're billing the client on a per month basis, or it's just a one-time sale, or it's basically a free trial where you charge them like $1 for a week, for example, and then after that week's up, you bill them the full amount. It doesn't matter. Any combination you can think of, we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you how to do all those things. And here we have the login screen to Omni Secure, which is our user management system that we built and we also use internally for our own business. So this login screen here is obviously responsive, so it works on the phone, works on a tablet, PC, doesn't matter. So we're just going to log in here. This is already filled out for us. This is our online demo. So just going to click sign in. And from what you see here, this is our dashboard. This shows you statistics across pretty much every aspect of the system as far as the users, how many people logged in, how much money you made over the last month or two, whatever you want to set here. So everything is dynamic, everything can be set separately, the periods and all that can be set separately. So that's just your overall bird's eye view of what's going on across the entire, or your entire website. The area I want to start with that really makes all this work, gives the ability to your products to be sellable, digital, physical, whatever, is here, groups. So if I go to manage groups, right now we have 3 groups in here. I'm just using the silver, the bronze, silver, gold example, so it makes sense initially. I also want to mention that these groups here can, again, be anything you want. I'm just using the gold, bronze, silver example to give you a sense of hierarchy. Okay, this one's higher than this one's going to have a higher price, have more value, etc. But so that you really understand, again, this could be anything. So here, if I'm selling membership access, then you're probably going to have something similar to this. We're going to have different levels of access, gold, bronze, silver, platinum, VIP, whatever it is you want to set up, and with different price ranges. This is mainly designed for digital content. So anything that's digital, anything that you're going to put into a folder, or anything you have in WordPress, you want to protect it. And all that is digital content, so all that is going to be controlled from this area here. The physical part of it we're going to get into a little bit later, and I'll show you how that works. So just keep it basic. We start out with either multiple groups or one group if you're just selling one thing. It could be a PDF file you're selling for a book. It could be membership access, different levels of membership access. You can even do donations. Pretty much any way of selling anything, really, whether it's digital or physical. Because the thing is, we're one of the first ones to actually meld in the physical and digital, combination of how products are being offered. Before, you'd have to have a regular shopping cart which only did physical products, and then you'd have to have a user management, membership management system like Omni Secure to handle all your digital products and membership access and things like that. So we figured out a way how to combine both of those, so you only have to manage, one group, and within that group you can do all the settings you want. So for example, if we go into, let's say, the bronze settings here, we edit, first thing it's going to ask, is it lifetime? Is it a one-time sale? Is it limited? Is it only going to last for like a year and that's it? Or if it's going to be auto-recurring, where you're going to bill them every month or every year or whatever. So if I were to choose recurring, this page here will actually change. And if I scroll down here, we're just going to skip the stuff up there real quick just to show you something here. So right now the currency US dollar. So if I want a trial amount, like I was telling you, if I want $1 or $5 trial amount for them to try it out, for a very low price, I can set that for a week, for a month, whatever. At the end of that month, it will automatically bill them
this amount right here. And then this would be, the billing cycle, when will it be billed afterwards, every month or whatever. And this is just another confirmation, recurring billing. And then here, if you have like a specific amount of times you want to bill them, you can put that there. Normally you don't. Normally you'll just keep on billing until the user actually cancels. And if we go here, this is what I was talking about with the assigned services. This is more of like a drip feed system of where when they buy your product or sign up for something, you can send them additional things after a certain amount of days. So you can, as they call it, drip feed them certain things after that. And up here is where the actual group management happens. So if I need a required group, let's say to get into the gold group, I had to be already part of the silver group, then I would say, okay, I need gold, or I need both of these to get to the platinum group or whatever. And then this here removes the old group. So if I was in silver and upgraded to gold, it removes the silver group. So that's just automation. Now, as you can see, a group can be anything you want. You can also create as many as you want. So it's really up to you on what a group has access to. For example, what folders that group is going to have access to. The folder protection is something that we're going to discuss. And what I wanted to clear up was the difference between, the folder protection, which is now also dynamic protection in WordPress and Joomla. It works the same way, but it's dynamic. So in the older days, you'd put everything into a folder and you'd protect that folder. And then you would chmod it like I showed you in the past video to like 755, and then you would protect it using our software. So if that person tried to go there directly to that URL, it would come up with a login form. They can't get in. So now it's gotten more advanced. So now this is basically related to anything that is digital. So anything on your website that you want protected and require some type of access to log in. It could be a membership area, it could be a forum, it could be just sensitive information to download on a special page you have that you want to protect. It could be anything. Download an ebook, whatever. That's what this group management part here is mainly for, to manage that and also be able to bill those groups accordingly, whether it's a one-time bill or if it's a recurring monthly billing or limited access or whatever it is. That's what this is controlled for. So if we want to get to the physical products, here's where it gets different. You go to the shopping cart and we go to manage products. Now again, this is a demo, so we have a bunch of fake products in here you're familiar with. And then let's say I want to edit the iPhone. So if I want to add a physical product, I would add it here. I would go to shopping cart, create new product. So this would be handled totally different than the group management you just saw. So just assume that everything that is group management is going to be on the digital side, and everything that is product management will be under the shopping cart side. So at this point, this should be giving you all kinds of great ideas on what you can offer just using this one system. So let's say you had a membership area or something that you want to protect that people can download, but they had to buy something, and you also offer a physical product. It could be anything physical, whatever it is. You can manage them both simultaneously. So each one has its own rules, pricing, process, and how it's going to be offered. So that is a very powerful feature to have, simply because being able to offer digital and physical products normally would take separate software systems and integration to achieve that, where we figured out how to do it all under one roof, under one system. So let's move on to the next part, which is folder protection. Now, I shouldn't even be calling it folder protection, because as you can see here, we have 4 different types, 4 different methods of protection. Folder protection just used to be the most,
convenient, easiest one to manage. You just have a folder, you put anything you want into it, and you don't have to worry about adding code or anything like that. You just keep on adding files to that folder if you want to update the content. But since now we have dynamic websites, that use CMSs like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, things like that, now the more popular option is protect, using a CMS like WordPress. But there's other ones here like protect files. That was actually one of the first type of methods to protect. In the old days, they had to copy paste code to specific files you wanted to protect, so that was pretty cumbersome. But the only advantage now, and why we even kept it, was because file protection, you can do, custom tracking and other special things that aren't built into the folder protection and, some of the other ones. And then protect URL, that's meant more for, again, like a CMS like Joomla, Drupal, WordPress. But now we have one that's specific for WordPress, so you're gonna like this. We're gonna get we're gonna check that out once we see, a couple of these. So let's check out the folder protection. So here we have, just an example, the 3 groups you saw originally in the first part of the video. This is just 3 folders that we decided to protect, just to show an example of bronze, gold, silver. So let's say we want to add platinum, for example. Click the protect new folder, and all you have to do is just click this little icon here, and then any one of these folders you want to protect, like downloads for example, you'll see it automatically fill out the path here and here as well. So here we have the 3 groups that we created earlier under groups. If you recall, in the earlier part of the video, these 3 groups are already created there, for the example. So to understand folder protection is super simple. All it means is if this folder right here is going to be, the gold group, for example, I want to make it gold. So basically the folder is now going to be assigned this group, and anyone who does not have the gold group is not allowed to log in. If they do have the gold group, obviously they can log in. So you can even go a step beyond that and add another group, and now they have to have both of these to log in. So as you can see, you can have different combinations of access and set up however you want. And you can also even add products, other things you have that are separate. You can also add those to this as well as a security permission. Like if someone bought a physical product and also bought membership to VIP membership or whatever on your website, you can actually bundle that with this one folder here, so it knows exactly who that person is. So that's enough for that. I mean, it's very basic, super easy. Once it's protected, all those files in there stay protected. You can add additional files via FTP, as many as you want. So now let's move on to the next type of protection I want to show you here. Now I just gave you a quick introduction on how the folder protection part works. Let's look at how the WordPress protection part works. This has been a feature a lot of clients have been asking for. In the past we had, if we go to the plugins here, let me show you, we have a WordPress plugin that integrates the database. But you still have to go and add, again up here, protect URLs. You'd have to get copy paste URLs and go back and forth. It's pretty much a hassle. So what we've done in here is we've created a WordPress protection interface of its own. So all you need to do is click on this generate plugin button here, and what this actually does is it creates an Omni secure plugin that you upload to your WordPress plugins folder, just like you install any other plugin. And what happens is when you do that and you come back here, it'll actually grab all your pages you have in your WordPress and display them all here. And then from here you can actually control everything. So for example, I have a free trial here. The group it's in is called Claim Free Trial, and they also get a OSS Pro discount upon purchase. So if we go inside here and look at how this works, you see we have free trial, we have the authorized groups. This is all generated. This is just stuff we threw in here, and again, just a bunch of stuff that you could offer in this demo just to show you how this works. So from here, you're basically controlling everything through
OmniSecure to WordPress at the same time. So when I click this button, it's actually going to protect that page using OmniSecure, and it's going to let WordPress know, hey, this page is being protected. They're both integrated, so they just work seamlessly. The reason why this feature is so important is because a lot of people now are using WordPress and Drupal and other CMS systems, obviously, but their biggest problem is being able to manage their users and have a system that can do their lead generation, their membership authorization, purchase authorization, all those different things without having to use a bunch of different systems. That's why this feature is so important. And since WordPress is not designed to be a user management system, a lot of our clients have told us they've had trouble trying to figure out a system that would work well with WordPress, because WordPress has their own plugins. They have many different plugins, and they do have some user management plugins, but again, it's not designed for that. That's why you need a system like OmniSecure, for example, because you really need to be able to handle everything under one environment. The back end of your website, all your forms, all your lead generating forms, all your forms to purchase your products or services, all the permissions, group levels, all the protected content, things like that. And at the same time, all those things being handled in an automated fashion, so you don't have to manually do any of these things. Again, that's all within the back end. You have to have a separate system that actually handles that part, since the CMS is not going to do that. It's mostly for the front end. It's mostly for your content, your design, and things like that.
Now I want to show you what the default login form looks like. So if we go up here to Forms, Login Form Design, this is the login form you saw earlier when I first logged into the system. So just assume anything you protect, whether it's a folder, whether it's a WordPress page, whatever it is, file protection, doesn't matter. This is the login form that's going to come up. So if I were to try to access that page or folder direct, it's going to come up with this login form. So it has its own built-in editor. You can change it however you want to. Just make sure you don't remove any of the actual code. But the cool thing is you can go here and click the source button, get the source code, put in your favorite editor, edit it to whatever template you want it to look like, and then just paste it back in here. Once you're done there, you just come down here, update. So just want to give you an idea of where this form is coming from and how you edit it and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into registration forms. So now here's how everything ties together. Now this is all going to make sense for you. So we're in the area where you manage your forms. As you can see here, we have some membership form, lead form, shopping cart form. These are again just fake forms we put in here to give you an idea what you can have. Now on top of having these forms here, let's say you have multiple websites on the same server. You can actually manage forms on different websites at the same time from this one screen here. So let's just take a look at one of these forms here. Let's look at the default one. So if I edit the form, so you can choose a template, put your form name. So here we go. Here we see the groups again. So right now with this form, it currently has selected gold, bronze, and silver. They used to be on this side over here. So they were put over here, meaning when I go to this form, it's going to show these three different groups with different prices and different billing options and things like that. So I can also add service as well if I want to. And then this multiple groups, if I enable this, that means that they can purchase multiple, not just one. They can purchase multiple groups at the same time and adds a price for you or for them, and they purchase. So these are just some more options here. Email verification is very important. This will actually is really good for like lead forms to make sure you don't get any junk emails. You make them go through an email verification process, and it works the same way like all the other ones you've used in the past. So then here you have character limit for the username and password. You have the terms and agreement option here that's built in.
You can also upload your, your terms of agreement, whatever EULA document, put directly in there. It'll actually pop up in a modal when the person goes to read it and agree to it. And then this is just what's going to happen after they purchase. It's going to go to the thank you page, thank you for purchasing, etc. Then here you have CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is basically the little picture you see that has letters and numbers. You type it in when you go to actually register. That's to prevent any robots or people doing automatic form registrations using scripts to prevent any of those type of people doing that kind of thing. So that's to make sure it's a real person registering on your form. And then you have these two pending and sign up email that you just choose which email you want. And that's pretty much it as far as the form settings. Now when you go to actually put this on your website, you just click generate sign up code. You're going to copy paste the code, put it into a text file, rename it signupform.php, and you're going to upload it to your site. That's all there is to it. So the other part I wanted to show you would be edit fields, for example. And this one you have username, password, email, first name, last name. You have all these fields here, check boxes, all these different things you can have. So again, it's up to you. Many different options per field that you can put in here. So the drop down list, the comma just means it's going to show the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the drop down, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just comma delimited for that part. So each one of these fields have their own specific special rules. Like email, I could actually make the email editable by the user, required field, editable in their profile, things like that. So I can go to the username, for example, edit there. I can use the email address as username. So if you want the email address to automatically be the username when they fill out the form, there's that option. And then, for example, on password field, there's a way to actually require the password to be alphanumerical. There's a way to automatically generate your passwords when they get sent by email, so they don't have to choose a password, auto-generated and sent to them. So as you can see, you have just endless options here to do pretty much anything you want to do. And then of course you have the design, just like you saw with the login form, but this one specifically for the registration form. So you can go in here and change this however you want, rebrand it to your logo, and all those nice things. So that's really most of what I wanted to show you for the sign up form. In later videos I'll get a lot more specific and show you more in depth how these features work. Right now I just want to give you an overall basic view of how all these things come together. So the last thing I want to show you before I end this third segment really quickly here, if we go to plugins. So I was showing you before the plugins we have here, like your merchant, PayPal, Authorize.net, ClickBank, whatever you're using. Then you also have like email type of plugins for MailChimp, Aweber, GetResponse. Of course you have WordPress down here. And this is not all our plugins, this is just some of them. So we have quite a few plugins for almost any scenario you have in your business to integrate with many things at one time. You can even have a plugin for PayPal and for CCBill or Authorize.net at the same time if you want to. You can have both options. Just by having PayPal, you increase your sales for people who just use PayPal and nothing else. And then you have the other option for the other people who like to use their credit card directly. And you even have an offline payment option that can send you a check or whatever. So this is really up to you at what you want to integrate as far as different systems. Again, like forum software, PHP, blog stuff, whatever it is. This is where you would integrate it. And we do offer the service where we actually go out and research the API for the plugin, and we can build it for you. And as you can see, over the years we've had a lot of additions. So I've hoped you liked these first 3 segments. More videos are to come that will be more specific and in other areas that like how to properly do keyword research. That's a big important one, and many other things that I want to cover, so we get a good understanding of how all these parts fit together. There's no guessing or hoping for things to happen that we don't understand. So I hope these first 3 parts helped you out. So I will talk to you again in the next videos to come.